Hello, you. Welcome back to You're a Goddamn Cheetah with me, Jenna, the Scorpio Moon Coach. How are you? How are you feeling? I don't even know where to start. So context. I am recording this again from my bed because, just like a little side note, today is the first day of my period. And that means it's just a deeply important time to honor myself and to look after myself. So today I was supposed to be going for a swim, and I had a few plans, and I just decided, no, I'm coming back to bed, because especially for me, like day 1 and 2 of my period are just like the most important days for me to really sink into rest and to really nurture myself. So that, and it feels so good to do that for myself. So good. Like it's been like a massive mindset shift for me this year in starting to really lean into that and really honor like this time for myself. Actually, I will do a podcast episode on that, because there were actually some really like monumental kind of things that I discovered about myself, but about my mum, about my whole maternal line. Well, not about my whole maternal line, but like the my grandmother, basically, which really blew my mind. And it was all around, it was so like the divine timing, and like it was so magical to just like have it massively like catapulted me into the mindset that I'm now in terms of like how I honor myself over my period. So that's kind of where I am at whilst I'm recording, and yeah, I'm doing it from bed. But today, what I really wanted to talk about, because we're basically I'm launching a new masterclass, which is coming on the 30th of October, like totally free. So please like click the link in the show notes to sign up if you haven't done already. But it's all going to be about this parent child connection, and how we can meet each other and really see each other and really honor the other one's like true essence, I guess. And I guess I've definitely been on my own journey, certainly in the last year, really, of actually really uncovering that again, like within myself. And I think that's why I really see the importance of us knowing who the fuck we are, essentially, like the real, true, honest, authentic us. Like before we put on all the bullshit masks and people pleasing and who we think we should be, in quotation marks. Like getting an awareness of that and an understanding of that is so huge. And I think definitely as a parent, like understanding that within yourself and really realizing the importance of that, and seeing how potentially that has become lost, like who you are has become lost. Like it really opens your eyes up to like seeing, really trying to like see your children's like who they really authentically are, and so that you can help guide them, I guess, as much as possible, so that they can keep as much of their authentic self as possible as they grow, which obviously is that's not, it's not all in our control. They're absolutely going to put masks on, and things are definitely going to come away, because they're also on their own journey. But I just think as a parent to start to get an awareness of that, and to help them yeah, just maintain like their authentic self as much as possible. Like, how fucking amazing would that be to like, if you to have yeah, like a parent or a caregiver that really sees you and really wants you to just maintain who it is that you really are as you grow. Like, I just think it's just the most powerful thing. And I've been so fucking resistant to talking about it because, you know, I literally fuck up on a daily basis with the girls, or that's how it feels. And, you know, like imposter syndrome massively kicks in, and I just think people are going to be like, why are you talking about this? Like, you don't, you know, I don't have all the answers, I don't have all the solutions, but I just feel it's like astrology and leaning into discovering my birth chart, which is this, it's like an astrological like blueprint of what makes you you, discovering that for myself, and then really focusing on what my big three are, which is my sun, moon, and rising sign, has played a like really integral part to me, like piecing myself back together and kind of really coming home to myself. And that's been huge. And then, you know, obviously I was really curious to see like, oh, what is April's sun, moon, and rising? What is Monica's sun, moon, and rising? And I've, you know, I really leaned heavily into that, and it's helped me. It's given me like a lens of through how I see them, and just given me like little golden nuggets of information that just helps me in how I parent them. And it also helps me see how they are. It's just another reminder that they are totally unique. Just because they're sisters, they are completely unique, as we all are. And it just again gives me that another reminder, another awareness really of that uniqueness, of the need to maintain their authenticity and to not kind of lump them in the same box or the same category like sometimes. And yeah, so and it but I guess the resistance was, it's like, I don't, just because I know that information, it's been really helpful, but I think where the imposter syndrome is coming in is like, oh god, but I still like mess up a lot. And it was almost like it was stopping me from talking about this, because I almost felt like, oh god, I have to have like really perfect days with them and like just really be nailing it all the time before I can really share this with you guys. But actually, even when I do fuck up and I don't say the right thing, or I don't behave in the right way, you know, all of these things, having the awareness of their sun, moon, and rising, especially their moon sign, it helps me to then be able to like go in and repair the situation. Because what I've massively been realizing actually, like, is that repair is everything. Repair is everything. So even in those moments when I, you know, I do shout, or I say the wrong thing, or say something I didn't mean, I always repair. I always go in and we have a conversation after. And it's in that repair where I can kind of hone in on what their moon sign is essentially. And so I don't know, it just makes me feel like, oh, I hope that it makes them feel more seen, and that I'm approaching the situation in a way that is, or feels like, authentic to them. So yeah, I guess, you know, what we're, and this is what the masterclass is going to be about really, is how we even start to do that. So for me, like just like the basics, like the starting point really is like just getting to grips with what your sun, moon and rising sign are. So because they each kind of form these a different magical ingredient of what makes you you. It's like when, you know, I've always kind of really loved, we've been so intrigued with astrology, and like would always read like horoscopes and all of that jazz, and would love reading like star signs, but they're just always so vague. Like some things would like really resonate and others not so much. And it's because like your star sign, which is also means your sun sign, it's not the only part of that what makes you you. You also have your moon sign, which is your internal kind of world. It's your feelings. It was described to me as like your inner child, which I just loved. It's just like it's how you want to be, it's how you want to be nurtured. It's like it's such a you know, it's not the kind of side of ourselves that we reveal to many people until we really love and trust them. So like the fucking importance of knowing your own moon sign, like that part of you is huge. Like let's not just take your like your kids out of it, like just like literally knowing your own and what it is that you need, and how your kind of your feelings around things, and like for instance, as an example, so my Scorpio moon is like when I realized that like that's what I had, literally so much made sense. Like Scorpio is like, so it's deep water, and it's like so emotional, super intuitive. And I've always felt intuitive, but I never really knew. I hadn't connected the dots. I didn't really realize how intuitive I actually was. And actually I was talking to a friend about this, about like Scorpio placements, or just, you know, like having a degree of like intuition, especially as a child. Like sometimes you just know when something isn't quite right, or you know, like I know when people are lying to me really easily because I can just feel it. And that's a fucking superpower. But I don't know, I didn't have an awareness of it. But then I was thinking about how that would have affected me as a child, like intuitively knowing and sensing when things weren't right. And actually, but you know, like adults, teachers, you know, parents, like fobbing me off, like not telling me the truth. And so sensing that it, you know, I did know the truth and I knew that something was up, but then just people just lying to me would have felt really confusing, really confusing. And yeah, as I've dug into what that placement means for me and where it's placed in my own chart, and just like so, so much like fear of rejection and abandonment has been tied into like this Scorpio moon, and what I have in my placements, in all honesty. And I was like, shit, like it just made so much sense when I started really digging into it, and gave me like an awareness of it, and then I was like able to understand it, but then also so much compassion for myself, um especially like younger me as well, like before I even knew that I had an awareness of this moon sign. um and that's the thing, it's like you getting an awareness of these elements that make you you. It just gives you, it's this amazing self-discovery tool where you can just get more and more aware of what makes you you. And then you can start to see how there are certain parts of yourself Like, for instance, like I have a Leo sun. I've spoken about this before, but that just didn't feel like me at all. And I completely shut that side of myself down. I was like, no, I'm not Leo. I'm not creative. I don't want to be seen. I don't want to use my voice. I don't want to express myself. Like, that is just not me. Don't look at me. And it fucking is me. But it wasn't until I had my birth chart read and we like really dug into like that like the cogs in my head like started turning, and I was like, oh God, like there is truth in that, but you're hiding from it because over like fucking decades of putting on mask after mask and not feeling, just but feeling fearful to be myself. And so like when you start to get an awareness of these pieces, these puzzle pieces, this like big three that makes you you, and you can kind of analyze them and start to just like sit with all those different energies that make you you, you can really start to come home to yourself and really start to understand yourself and reveal what this like true essence is. Because the other thing is that I really believe that like all of the placements in our birth chart, so it's not just our sun, moon and rising, it's it's like where our Mercury is, our Jupiter, our Mars, our Venus, like all of these like planetary like placements and asteroids and everything. Like I really believe that we chose those placements, we chose those exact zodiac signs, we chose the exact houses that they're in, because we wanted this experience on earth. We wanted this, it's like we gave ourselves all of the tools that we needed to navigate this lifetime. So I needed to like utilize and to like lean into that Leo sun. Like I chose it for a reason, but for like almost like 2 decades I've just been ignoring it. And the levels of happiness that are literally like radiate out of me from actually leaning into my sun sign and what that means, and that like the Leoness that I have in side of me gives me, it makes me feel so happy. And it's because I'm just being me. It's because I'm just being more authentically myself, more who I chose to be in this lifetime. And that's what's making me so happy. And it's so easy. It feels, everything feels easier because I'm just being more me. I'm not having to pretend. I'm not having to mask for anyone. I'm just literally just being myself. Not that I've got it all worked out. I absolutely haven't. But it's just that has been a real light bulb moment for me when I actually just gave in, and I was like, fuck it. I do want to be seen. I do I really want to express myself. I really want to be creative, and I want to lean into more like joyful things, like, and I am really courageous, and that is all like encapsulated in that Leo sun. And I guess having been through this journey of like discovering these parts of myself and seeing how much happiness it's created within me to just live more authentically as myself and to show up to other people more authentically as myself, and to like the ripple effect that then has out to other people that witness me doing it, makes me I can't not talk about this anymore in terms of how I now use that as a parent, as a mother. So just like as an example, so April, my eldest, she has an Aquarius sun and she has an Aquarius moon. She has a lot of Aquarius energy, and Aquarius is just It's an right. So it's an air sign. So it's all like communication is a big thing, like communicating, like sharing, it's connection through communication. Like it's a big thing. But then the other layer of Aquarius is that they just like to go off piece. They just like to do their own thing. There's a real like rebellious nature to them. They don't like following a crowd. And that's been so apparent that is a lot of April's energy. And so I've had an awareness of that for a long time. And I was literally saying to a friend the other day, if I didn't know that about her, and I also hadn't done the work on like myself, we would be butting heads all of the time, because I would want to, from like my experiences, like my masking, like my like school experiences, and like how like I navigated my way through the whole school system. I was very much like, stay in your lane, stay in your box that has been like created for you, and don't come out of it, and don't make a fuss, and just be agreeable, and blah blah blah, all of the things. And I think, yeah, we would have butted heads massively, because I would have wanted her to follow all of the rules, just because that's what I did. Not that it didn't make me necessarily happy, but like that's what I did. So I was just literally like, that's my blueprint, and that's how I'm going to like parent you, because that's how I was kind of parented, or that's kind of how that was my experience. And knowing that she is just has such an amazing rebellious streak inside of her, and I now see that as that is a massive part of just what makes her her. And I absolutely cannot like squash that. And yeah, it makes my life harder, especially like we're trying to get out the door and put our shoes on with things and whatnot. But that Aquarius energy that she has, and it's a lot, that's all that's the true essence of her. That's her being her authentic self. And I'm really mindful of like trying to honor that part of her as much as possible, so that she doesn't have to put on as many, shall we say, because I can't control it. There will be masks that she puts on, like that's, you know, everybody's journey to like move through that. But perhaps that me seeing her magical mix, what makes April, like I hope that will help her navigate her way through in a more authentic way, and she doesn't have to hide parts of herself. So, you know, and it's already been proving like this, like having that awareness of her is already proving like like this golden information to have as we start to navigate her like going through the school system. So she's just gone into year 1, and yeah, I'm already kind of having to fight for her and make sure that her, you know, and the thing is, it's that it's balance, right? I think it is like choosing your battles, because yeah, I choose to put her, it's like, well, it's our her and me and her dad, sorry, choice to put her in the school system. But it is also knowing, right, this is April and she's not going to do necessarily X, Y, and Z. Like, can we have a conversation about it? Let's sit down, and just being actually prepared to have the conversation and advocate for her in terms of like what she needs, and so that she can maintain as much of her like her really like true like spirit, her true essence, her true authenticity, like as much as possible as she navigates this, like in quotation marks, like it's a system. um yeah, and it's just really, that for me has just been, I'm so grateful, I'm just so grateful of having that knowledge about her. And yeah, and then the other thing actually is like, so she has all this Aquarius energy, but oh my god, Mercury in her chart, like the placements, like it's so strongly placed. Like Mercury again is like, it's the planet of communication, it's the storyteller, it's how we connect with others and share our ideas, and it's like a deeply important part in her chart again. So she needs to use her voice, she needs to, that's her way of connecting with those around her, is having those conversations. And I know that about her, so we talk a lot. And I know, and this is the thing where I was saying earlier about where, like, even when I mess up and like she's trying to talk to me, but like I'm in the middle of making the dinner, or like Monica's crying or something's happened and I can't, there's something going on and I can't talk to her. And I know that that's a deeply, like, she needs that. That's a really deeply important part. But sometimes I'm getting pulled in a million different directions and I can't give her what she needs. But it's being able to come back in those situations and repair with her in a way of like, I now have the time, like your voice matters, what you have to say to me, I want to listen to it, I really want to listen to what you have to say. But I was doing X, Y, and Z, that is why. But now you have my attention, like speak to me, tell me, like let me listen. And we've every time it's like we connect so much deeper every single time that I acknowledge and I see her through that lens. And it makes me feel really grateful that I have that awareness. And yeah, and it's just something that I kind of come back to time and time again. And it really is helping me navigate raising them and navigate parenting them. And it just feels too important now, like not to share. And yeah, which is why I'm doing my masterclass Born This Way on the 30th of October. So yeah, sign up in the show notes for that. And we're going to be digging into it's going to be like a bit of an interactive masterclass, because I really want you to go away like with that golden nugget of information about you, but also about your child. And I just think having an awareness and understanding of yourself, and then having and really getting to grips with what your kind of essence is, and then seeing your child in the same way, and then seeing how, because sometimes, like, our moon signs, they're totally different, and maybe they don't necessarily kind of vibe together, but it's like having that awareness of like, right, this is kind of what's going on like internally with me, this is what's going on internally with them, like how can we still make that work, how can we still like form a bond, form a connection. And yeah, it feels really deeply important. So yeah, like I said, it's going to be like a interactive thing. So I want you to kind of come with your birth chart, with one of your kids' birth charts, and then we're going to look at our moon signs, and then we're going to explore them through the elements, essentially. So all of the zodiac signs, the 12 zodiac signs, are split into 4 elements, so fire, air, earth, and water. And just actually, what I want to do is just keep it super simple for you all, so you can go away with a bit more clarity on this true, authentic nature that you have inside of you, but also that your child has inside of you, inside of them, sorry. Yeah, Oh, it feels really nice actually to really like lean into talking about it, because honestly, I have wanted to talk about this for a really, really long time. It actually, when I first started, like it's over a year ago now, like I remember some of my first posts actually were talking about my kids' moon signs, but I kind of did it. I didn't massively lean into it. I just like would kind of touch upon it here and there and like maybe put it as like a little sentence in like, you know, one of the captions below a post, which no one ever really properly reads the captions in posts, do they? And it was just like a little sneaky bit because I was like, oh, I want to tell people about this, but I'm also scared to tell them about this. Because yeah, I don't want to feel that like, who the fuck does she think she is talking about this, that? But now I don't care. It literally feels too important not to start talking about it. Yeah, but you know, it's taken me a year, but we're here. Um, so yes. I really hope you enjoyed this. Please, please, please come along to the masterclass and tell, yeah, anyone that you think this would resonate with and you think, oh, that would be definitely be a bit of them. Because yeah, like I said, I really want everybody to just go away with something that they can start, whether it might even just literally be to understand yourself better and to start to a way to like start to come home to who you authentically are. But then if it helps you to just understand like an element of your child better, like amazing. um yeah, I hope if you are um about to like embark on a half term, I'm sending you so much love, um so much strength, so much compassion, because there will no doubt be really hard days. There always is on half term. There will be you know, I've only done a few half terms because April's only in year one, but like it's a real fucking roller coaster. Like some days, like even in one day, there's like really high moments, and then there's like a real shit moment, and then it's a high and a low and a high and a low. And I think that's totally normal. And I think that's totally normal is what I'm realizing. But just yeah, please be compassionate with yourself over half term and know that we're all kind of going through exactly the same things, and we don't need to do all the fancy shit. Actually just sometimes just slowing down and being in nature is actually everything. If you're having a shit day, just get outside, literally whatever the weather, and go for a walk. Whenever we do that, we all feel better. So even if just every day you just get out and go to the park or go to the woods or what have you, amazing, amazing. Right, I'm gonna leave it there. I love you deeply. Thank you so much for listening. So grateful you're here. And yeah, I will speak soon.